guys, my name is Marley. I'm going to be doing my Patho project over cholestasis of pregnancy. I wanted to do it over this disorder because it is something that I personally dealt with, and I never really understood what it was up until this point, and it was a great way to learn more about it. And I hope to be a labor and delivery nurse one day, so it is some good information to have. So getting into the pathophysiology of it and the physiology in general, a lot of resources that I found said that it wasn't clear like why it's caused and what's really happening, but according to NCBI bookshelf, it is a phenomenon in late stages of pregnancy where the bile builds up in the liver and in returns causes extreme itching of the arms and legs and can cause fetal death. So the death of the fetus can happen because of a stillbirth, respiratory distress, or asphyxiation. So that's pretty much over everything about that. It's still not really understood, and so it's important for women that are past in the late stages of pregnancy to report any itchiness of their hands or feet to their healthcare provider. Okay, so for the common side effects of CP, the Cleveland Clinic lists the most common side effect of this is the extreme itchiness of the upper and lower extremities. And I can personally say it is not like when you get a mosquito bite, it just itches and you itch it and it goes away. It is a very deep, intense itching that just doesn't seem to go away. And it does get worse at night, and it is not pleasant. So other least common side effects is fatigue and jaundice, so yellowing of the eyes and skin. Okay, so going on to the risk factors that can put a woman at risk for developing CP. So just like the patho and the phys, this isn't really understood either. But the Mayo Clinic does point out that there is a few factors that can put a woman at risk that they kind of have figured out. So one risk factor is having a family history of CP. So if her mother has had CP, grandmother, any direct relatives, if they had CP when they were pregnant, then she can most likely get it. Another idea that they kind of came up with is how in the late stages of pregnancy, the hormones kind of slow everything down. So it's slowing that bile, and so it just builds up in the liver. And another risk factor is being pregnant with twins or more. So when you have all that strain in your body, it's putting a lot of strain on the liver. So it kind of makes sense that the bile would build up in multiple pregnancies. Okay, so going into treatment options for CP, this one is really tricky because it's not something that can really be cured. So according to the Mayo Clinic, the number one goal for treatment is to get the baby out because it can really heighten the risk of stillbirth or fetal death. So there's instances where it can happen and the baby is not at that stage yet where they can sustain life outside of the womb. So there are some options that can be offered. So for the mother, providing a steroid like Uricidal can help kind of relieve that itching a little bit. Another way to relieve the itching is a cold shower, an oatmeal bath, and as crazy as it does sound, for me, what I would do is I did this constantly throughout the night because that's when it got worse, was at night. I would go take a really cold shower and then put that blue aloe on my hands and feet, and then I would stand in front of a fan to get that cooling sensation. So if that's working for the mom and the baby is still not at the age where they can be induced yet, they can do a biofetal profile. So this is just a really in-depth way of looking at the baby's movement and respiratory status to make sure that the baby is okay while the CP is going on, and through a non-stress test. But the ultimate goal, like I said before, is to induce labor because that is the only way to 100% ensure that the baby is healthy and will be okay in delivery. Okay guys, that was my presentation over CP. I know it probably wasn't that interesting, but it was interesting to me, so I hope somebody finds it interesting and insightful. And thank you for listening, and I can't wait to hear all your guys' presentations. Thank you.